Hi friends, welcome back to Data Analytics Talks. Hope you are enjoying that. Today I'm going to discuss on Pareto analysis and how to prepare a Pareto chart by creating the required data for the same. Hope you will enjoy it.
Let me start with showing you a Pareto chart. If you have not seen, I think this will really help. You know, if you have seen, that's great. So, what is covered in this talk? So, we'll try to know more about the Pareto analysis and we will create a use case for this Pareto analysis and gather some data and transform it and we'll create our first Pareto chart. So, give a little bit of history about the Pareto chart. Fredo Pareto was an Italian mathematician and economist. In the late 80s, he created what we have come to know as the 80-20 rule, which observes that 20% of the population of Italy owned 80% of the wealth. That is 20% of the population of the Italy owned 80% of the wealth. So Pareto analysis, popularly named as 80-20 rule, is an effective strategy to look into the relativity across the causes of a problem. So there could occur scenarios in business where 20% of the group would provide 80% of the major impact and 80% of the group impacting the least 20% of the scenario. You got it? So 80-20 rule means 20% of the group would provide 80% of the major impact and 80% of the group impacting the least 20% of the scenario. So the 20% of the population has major impact than the 80% of the population. In the Pareto chart allows us to compare the effects caused by this group. So what is the impact of 20% group and what is the impact of 80% group? Assume a Pareto chart displaying the dimension members that cause the cost incurred in a organization. The members are sorted in the descending order and the percentile spend contribution in a cumulative sequence. To measure the relative impact, a threshold value is maintained. So creating a Pareto chart in Power BI is not a difficult task, and this video will show you step by step how to create one. You can then use this technique to apply the 80-20 rule in your own use cases. So we understand that Pareto analysis is used to solve problems. So before we going into a Pareto chart implementation, we should have a problem. So do you have a problem? Yes, we have a problem. We have a problem with one of our major client. It is none other than a major pizza shop in the city. So they are recently facing a lot of performance issues and bad customer feedback. So they came to us and asked, can you solve our problem? Can you help us identify the problem? Yes, we said we can do that. So we checked, do you have a feedback system? They said, yes, they have a feedback system. They have a very strong and robust feedback system where the users can share their feedback for their orders for multiple dimensions like delivery mode, quality of the item purchased, delivery time, behavior of the delivery boy, and overall satisfaction, and so many other dimensions also included in their feedback system. So we tried to gather the data collected so far. Yes, from the feedback we have collected the complaints. So this is the list of the complaints. Many reasons they have mentioned like pizza not hot, inadequate topping quantity, inadequate cheese quantity, not baked properly, delayed delivery, that is topping the list. 1200 complaints received on delayed delivery and incorrect billing, wrong size delivery. So this is a summary of the complaints that we have received and gathered from the feedback system. So we will use this data as the input to our Pareto chart. Now let's go to our Power BI and try to load this data into Power BI. I have the Power BI opened. So let me get data from Excel. I selected PISA complaints as my input. I choose sheet 1, which is having the complaints and its count. Let me load the data. So data is getting loaded. You can see all the 9 records here with their counts. So the first step is complete. Let's move on to the second step. What's the second step? I can see the data set with 2 columns, complaints and count. So we need to create a cumulative column for the value. So how can I create a cumulative column? I can create a new column and I have a DAX expression. Let me copy to the formula bar. Here I am getting the cumulative value. Okay. So let me save it. So we have a cumulative column. So as a next step, we need to create a calculated column for the percentile of the cumulated values. For that, we can use another DAX expression. So let's create a new column. And we need to have a DAX expression to create the percentile. So let me copy the DAX expression. Let me save this. So we have got the percentile also. Percentile of the cumulative column. Okay. So 2 columns are created. Finally, we need to have a threshold. So let's create a third column and I have the DAX expression. It is simply threshold equal to 80. So let me save this. So we have a threshold. So we created 3 columns. One is Pareto items, that's the cumulative values, then Pareto percentage, that is the percentile of the cumulative value, and we have a threshold value. So the data set is ready. So far we have good. Okay, now we need to add a visual. So which visual we will choose? We will use line and clustered column chart. We can simply double click. Let me enlarge the visual. So let's add the x axis and y axis. So what will I put in the x axis? I will put the complaints. In the y axis I will put the count. So beautifully we got the bar chart. We have the complaints and we have the count of the complaints in the y axis. Let's add the line y axis. So let's add the Pareto percentage. Yeah, looks good. Let's add the threshold too. So our Pareto analysis chart is ready now. So what are the major issues? Like we have the major issues from delayed delivery and pizza not hot, right? So if you format this, we will have a beautiful chart like this. So we can customize the title, we can put a proper legend and give a proper naming, proper colors, then the chart will look fantastic. From here you can continue with your analysis, and if you really want to follow the steps, you recreate the data based on this Excel, and you can use the DAX expression to create the various calculated columns. And the first one is for creating the cumulative value, second is percentile of the cumulative value, then third is the threshold. And use the right visual from the visual gallery. Hope this particular video was helpful to you. Please leave your comments, suggestions or questions in the comments.